Hi, everyone, and welcome to our closing. In this lesson, we're going to talk really quickly about closing out everything that we've talked about, but also sustaining our practices for the future. Now, we've talked a whole bunch about all different kinds of ways to regulate your nervous system, and you've built a toolkit of different practices that are going to help you navigate all of this new transition in your life. But I think more importantly, hopefully, you have started to develop an awareness of how your nervous system actually responds in different contexts, what works for you and what doesn't work for you, so that you can consciously shape change. And again, the goal is to consciously shape change in our lives. And this final session here is about helping you to, one, remind you of everything that we've covered so far, how to sustain those as you move forward, and to ground yourself in some form of commitment in terms of how you're going to regulate your nervous system. And since we know that this is not a single skill, but it is a lifelong practice that we have to, practice in all different kinds of circumstances, all different kinds of environments, because one thing that might work in one circumstance is not going to work in another. And so just like physical fitness, right? You have to go to the gym every day. You have to practice the different exercises for different parts of your body. And so we have to bring steady attention to all of the different aspects that we're going to find ourselves in. We have to practice regulating our nervous system in those different contexts. And so today, we're going to talk about what we learned really quickly, identify how you can sustain it, and have you kind of commit to carrying these practices into your leadership in the future. So, really briefly, we have covered understanding the nervous system. So, recognizing what is regulation, what is dysregulation, and why it matters for your health and for your leadership. We talked about the need to tailor your practices, learning that regulation is not a one-size-fits-all and that your body has a unique history and context that is going to shape what regulation practices are going to work best for you. We did all different kinds of regulation techniques, giving you different tools that will work directly with the body. We did breath, sound, chanting, movement, grounding, and then we did some tools for the mind and the imagination, so visualization, co-regulation, reframing, and then we talked about integrating, so building your toolkit that you can sustain daily rituals for an ongoing practice. Now, all of these offer a full spectrum of different approaches that you can choose. And the key theme that is running throughout them is repetition, both personal and professional repetition. And it is about listening to your own body while also recognizing that you have an influence on other people and other people have an influence on you. And in order to make sure that we will always be able to lead appropriately, we have to be able to navigate our stress and our uncertainty with resilience and with clarity. And so the difference between people who navigate circumstances with clarity comes down to whether or not they can regulate their nervous system or not. And if you only reach for regulation when you're in crisis, then it's going to feel like it's a lot harder for you to access. But if you can practice these skills consistently, then your body and your mind start to reflexively practice them in all different kinds of moments. And so even if you practice when you're calm, it's going to help your nervous system, just like an athlete practices their skills. It's going to help you to be able to do that in the moment when you need to do it. And so, again, repetition and practice here is key. And sustaining these practices is what's going to help you grow as a leader. And the more often that you can return to balance, the more consistently you're going to be able to model presence, steadiness, and clarity for your team. And over time, this is what is going to shape your organizational culture. And so to bring it back into the environmental and the cultural aspects, We have emphasized throughout the course that your environment matters. Your personal practice is going to be stronger if you are able to shape supportive context, right? Your physical environment, your natural light, your opportunities for movement, your quiet corners, your cultural environment, and whether or not breaks and self-awareness and humility are valued aspects of your team's culture. And then there's also the relational environment. And so fostering trust so that you can co-regulate the collective and ground collectively as needed. And again, leaders who can kind of manage or navigate these layers are going to ensure that regulation is not just about them, but also a shared capacity that is going to benefit the collective. So what I want us to do really quickly, we're not going to go into a really deep practice, but I do want us to take a moment to think about your journey so far. And I want you to think about 2 practices that stood out for you the most as you were going through the course. And I want you to think about what has shifted in your body or in your presence as you have tried these and as you've practiced these in your life. And as you do that, hopefully they've been positive and they've been beneficial experiences. And I want you to commit to listening to your body and to using the tools that are going to bring balance back into your life. You don't have to commit to practicing any or all of these regulation techniques, but I do want you to commit to listening to your body. When your body is telling you that it needs you to listen to it, I want you to commit to listening to it. And I want you to, at least when your body is telling you that it needs you to listen, I want you to commit to practicing something that will help you regulate and listen to your body. If you are in a leadership position, I would love for you to add a commitment to being able to lead with presence and to create environments where regulation and trust can thrive. Again, not just for yourselves, but for the collective. And as part of that, I would love for you to choose a practice that you will carry forward, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, some sort of practice you will carry forward, and how you can weave it into your routine. I want you to think about what are the practices that you want to make part of your daily or weekly rhythms. How can you shape your environment, so the physical, the cultural, the relational aspects of your environment, to support regulation for yourself and for your teams? And what commitment do you want to make about the presence and steadiness that you want to bring to your team? With that, I want to say congratulations on completing this journey. I am so excited that you took the time to go through this course. There are far too many people that don't know how to listen to their body, and more specifically don't know how to regulate based on what their body is telling them. So I want to say congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I hope that you found this course to be beneficial. I hope that you have a deeper awareness of your nervous system and your relationship with your nervous system, and that you have a clearer understanding of how you can regulate in the moment and how you can regulate outside of the stressful moments. Now, I want to say that there are all different kinds of links that I have throughout the course, but I'll also put some resources in the last little section here for you if you want to follow up with anything else. Inside the Increasing Consciousness app, there are meditations, there are other exercises that you can do, as well as other courses. So I want to acknowledge that and say that if at any point you want to experiment with some of those other things, I hope that you do that. But ultimately, I just want you to listen to your body so that over time, it can become a reflexive response for you to be able to navigate intuitively. So again, thank you so, so much for taking this journey, and I hope the practices that you learn serve you well. And if you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My contact information is below. My websites and other things are readily available on all of my platforms. So thank you so, so much. Congratulations again.